So first of all, I want to say congratulations for, you know, we just launched SGU, and that makes your 16th season of Stargate.
Yeah.
That's pretty fantastic. That doesn't happen in Hollywood very often.
We're not in Hollywood, though.
That's true. Hollywood North?
True.
Doesn't count? No?
I think if someone noticed, they might try and stamp us out. They're just not paying attention.
It's 3 distinct series.
Yeah.
But one big franchise. I mean, that's you know, that's rare. That's ER and Law and Order, and
you can't really put us in that rarefied air because we're, you know, those are mainstream shows. We've been on the air a lot, and it's wonderful, and I have certainly nothing to, you know, it's all been great, but
you don't put yourself in the same category?
We're in the category of shows that have been on the air a long time. That's definitely true.
Just that category.
Yeah.
But they're all different. There's a law drama and a medical drama and a science fiction drama.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to have been employed this long.
This long.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. It's great.
Obviously, like you were saying earlier, SGU is going in a totally different direction as the other 2 shows, and the scripts, they're so good.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question, because you know, we obviously appreciate that you feel that way, and obviously the cast really does have an enthusiasm for the work they're doing. But what do you say to fans who go, "Oh no, that script was terrible"?
Well, you know, I think as an actor, when you're criticized on your work, and I would consider all of this our work, even though my art isn't the writing, I think you have like this desire to kind of defend yourself. It's a hard one because everyone has their opinion.
I think the minute you say we're going to make a very different show, and to have fans not respond, I would be surprised. I was expecting a chunk of fans saying, "This isn't what I've been watching for 15 years."
Right.
That's right. It isn't. We know that. We've wanted to change it. And forgive me if you don't think it's our prerogative, but it is.
Well, there's DVDs.
We created these shows, and well, no, but seriously, this is my and a lot of my adult life and my career, and it's a franchise that we have been working on our lives together, a huge chunk of our lives, and we wanted to change it, so we did.
You know, we're fighting a lot of, you know, things like the fans sort of really still wanting the old Stargate, and kind of having a little bit of a getting to know you period with the new show, and not quite sure how to take it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do their opinions influence you one way or the other?
When they say stuff and you look at it and go, "Oh, geez, they're right about that," and that happens.
Right.
Rob was just saying, you know, about the early going of the female characters in the show. It takes a little while. It takes a little while for the characters to be fully formed. Certainly with Meg Na's character.
And the funny thing, well, you know, and I'm not blaming Brad. Certainly, the decision to turn Fire into a 2-parter was you know, was the right thing to do. But what it did was we had sort of plotted out the first 10 episodes and how things were going, and this kind of pushed everything 1 episode further. And I mean, that maybe doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but you know, it does in the overall arc of the first 10 episodes take a little longer to get to certain points that we thought were going to be earlier.
How far in advance, I mean, when you sat down and said, you know what, we want to create a new show, you were still doing Atlantis, how far in advance would you plan these characters, or this, you know, certain arcs of characters? Are you thinking in terms of 5-year schemes?
No.
Because I have 2.9 kids.
2.9 is cute.
No, I mean, we're thinking in terms of seasons, and we have sort of ideas about what people's long-term goals are. But, you know, you don't want to think too far ahead and, you know, sort of limit yourself, because sometimes the best idea is the one that you just get, and
sometimes it's the performer a little thing that happens that has nothing to do with what you thought you were writing, that just happens on screen, and you go, oh, we got to follow that up.
Or sometimes,
right.
you know, someone gets pregnant.
Yeah, that'll
then,
change things.
That does change things
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You could always shoot, you know, this way or something.
Yeah, I can't like, for example, I can't wait for the fans to go, you know, oh, those horrible producers, all they can think of for a woman's character to be
Is
is
to
pregnant.
make her pregnant, yeah. That horrible actress for getting pregnant. That was funny.
No, that is, we never hold that against people, because that is actually how we reproduce.
Good.
That we need as a society to acknowledge that, I think.
I think that you know, what the criticism is that the female characters not be defined by things that are
specifically
female, and you know, obviously it's tough to get around that issue, and it was, I think, an interesting, dramatic thing to explore. I mean,
well, and that's the first time
thing
you said to me.
Yeah.
Was that it was kind of it was an interesting storyline, and I think it is.
We talked about it. What
fitting.
if somebody, you know, got pregnant on the ship? What would they do?
How would life change? Yeah.
Yeah, and we, you know, I've said that one of the things we're trying to do is represent, you know, characters and people and their situations in as real a way as possible, and this is certainly part of life. So it's something that we, obviously, when it came up, didn't want to shy away from. I don't want to be perceived as catering to an audience or trying to get certain demographics to watch. So we want people to love the show. Mm-hmm. We want as many people to watch and think it's a good show as possible. And I think that we wanted, you know, Stargate Universe to be about a community of people trying to survive that was in some ways a little bit of a microcosm and analogy for you know, us here on this planet.
Mm. Well, I know, because Amanda was saying that, you know, going to conventions and such, a lot of the fans will say to her, like, I went into science because of you, or and she's like, really, I'm just an actor. but you have that influence, so I think it's wonderful that
we and especially on SG-1 and Atlantis, we had real scientists like NASA folks watching our show, because our characters were always the hero. Our scientists were the heroes, and coming up with the solutions that saved the planet Earth. And that's kind of a neat fantasy for someone who works at NASA to be thinking of.
Absolutely.
SGU's different. SGU's the characters are more flawed, and people are going to be disappointed with some of the characters they love, and then grow to love them again, and then because that's reality. That's what happens in drama.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I love it.
I'm glad. You did love it too. When you watched the premiere, there was a whole change in your, wasn't there?
Well, I found some really interesting things that I didn't see maybe reading the scripts, or especially the first like 3-parter. I don't know if it's because I was moving and have a couple kids and meeting everybody, or if it was just I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And then when I saw it, I picked out these little moments, like Greer really surprised me. Yeah. When I watched the whole, you know, cut together version, I was like, I didn't think he was funny. And then I watched, and there's these really hysterical moments, and I don't know if that's because they're scripted or because the way they're being played or directed or edited.
Everything hopefully comes up a level when you shoot it. I mean, that's the goal, is to have everybody contribute, and hopefully it comes together, and then you add, you know, all the wonders of editing and timing and visual effects and music and all that sort of stuff, and you know, you will tend to see clearly those elevations in the scene that you're in, because you've seen it blocked. You say, okay, we can fix this, we can do this, we can come up with this moment, you're going to do that, so I'm going to respond to that. But you don't see that when you're not there as much. And because of the ensemble nature of the show, there's a lot of scenes where, you know, you might be surprised when you finally see it the way it was realized as opposed to how it was on the page.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
This is Kelly Ripa and Robert Cooper and Brad Wright signing off.
Who's Regis?
Be on my show! Be my co-host!